Click here to subscribe to our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon to get regular updates of our videos.
So the topics which I have identified, obviously I have classified them under broad categories, like the first one being in energy. In energy, if you see the important topic from the energy point of view, I strongly believe there is a possibility of a question on waste to energy. After this waste to energy, I think there is this question on energy efficiency. Then obviously there is another part, clean coal technology. Clean coal technology, obviously waste to energy, energy efficiency, these three you can link with climate change related questions as well. Then after clean coal technology, one more topic obviously related to nuclear is the NSG membership issue. Then one more topic obviously related to here is Indo-Japan nuclear deal. And another possible question is nuclear deals and nuclear power program of India. This is only with energy. Then similarly we will do for biotech, then space, defense, nanotechnology, IT, computer and robotics. So I will be just like a very brief overview of the things. It will not be like detailed 1 hour discussion on waste to energy or a half an hour discussion on energy efficiency. Like what we need to know actually on such topics while writing answers, like waste to energy. While writing answer on waste to energy, first foremost question is why waste to energy? The time has come. Answer is simple. By 2050, 70% of our population will be in urban areas. That means that much more generation of the waste. So if we will not work out a proper strategy for the utilization of that waste will eventually result in air pollution, soil pollution and water pollution. Just see the state of our rivers like Yamuna or the Ganga or all the other rivers. They are having obviously lot of pollutants being dumped, or they just wash with the water over there. So if you want program like Namami Gange to be successful, then waste to energy has to be successful, then only Namami Gange will be successful, or river cleaning programs will be successful. Then another aspect is, what are the dimensions, initiatives on this front? What has been done recently? Then obviously what are the challenges? And obviously the impact. So if you see the initiatives, lot of initiatives have been taken. I will tell you, like drink with this Swachh Bharat mission. Every now and then you read this Clean India, Green India. In Swachh Bharat mission, the theme is waste to health. 6 waste to energy plants have been planned. First is plant and the second is planned. And in total they will be generating 76 megawatt of electricity. That is a criticism also. 6 waste to energy plants giving you just 76 megawatt of electricity. But here you need to focus on the aesthetics part. Something which is priceless, like the health of our rivers, the pollution and obviously the indirect health impact of that pollution. If all that will be taken care of if we go for waste to energy plants. In the Delhi NCR region, 3 waste to energy plants are already working. One is Okhla Timarpur, another is in Narela Bawana and third one is Ghazipur. Next part, if you see here that we had, I am still continuing with this part, we had an Okhla Timarpur waste to energy plant. Why this is in news? For the good as well as bit of a negative reasons. This waste to energy plant has got carbon credits. Carbon credits from whom? Obviously no marks for guessing, UNFCCC. But at the same time, the residents of the nearby areas have approached national UNFCCC to cancel the carbon credits. So I am coming bit of a criticism, use these points to obviously if the question is critically analyzed. Why? Because obviously some rules have been violated. The rule says that the waste to energy plant should be an integral part of the landfill site, means where the waste is being dumped, there itself you should have the waste to energy plant. In this case, landfill site is somewhere else and the energy plant is somewhere else. And there is a distance of kilometers. Another thing is like they should be at a certain distance from the residential areas. In this case, waste to energy plant is virtually sharing a boundary wall with multiple residential areas around it. Some of them might be unauthorized, but that is a different question altogether. And obviously another part is that it is just 1.5 kilometer approximately from the wild bird sanctuary, that is Okla Bird Sanctuary. So there is a possibility that some rules might have been violated over here. That is why some of the people have approached National Green Tribunal obviously against this Okla Timarpur waste to energy plant. But that is one part, that is just one part. Second initiative, in 2016 we have National Power Tariff Policy. That National Power Tariff Policy has mandated if there is a sewage treatment plant within 50 kilometer radius of a thermal power plant, then it is mandatory to use that waste to produce electricity. And then after that, government has assured these power producing organizations, you don't worry, Central Electricity Regulatory Commission will fix the tariffs so that the DISCOMs will buy that. So government has to ensure that that particular electricity is being purchased as well for the purpose of distribution among the customers. That is being done with National Power Tariff Policy. That is the third initiative, second initiative. Another initiative on waste to energy front is that Municipal Solid Waste Rule 2016. These rules have mandated that if a particular industry is using fuel directly, then 5% of the total fuel they are consuming must be derived from refuse, R-E-F-U-S-E, refuse derived fuel, R-D-F, F for fuel. Then you can add some of the startups are there like Green Waste Reprocessor. That Green Waste Reprocessor has been awarded one of the best startups in the country. You can link it over there, you can bring Swachh Bharat Mission and obviously so many other river cleaning programs you can bring, and that's one, then that's it. But the challenges are, we are focusing only on municipal solid waste, we are not focusing on the other types of industrial waste, which is obviously a major part of the pollution. And the other thing is, challenges is, most of the waste to energy plants are based on incineration or combustion. Means they emit highly harmful toxic gases or the greenhouse gases. How we are going to address this, that is one part. But the impact obviously is really going to be is that obviously we will be like aesthetics will come up here. The impact will be, we will be able to address water pollution, two types, surface water as well as groundwater, soil pollution and air pollution, and we will be able to bring obviously this pollution related health effects also will be addressed because of that. And this will help us in obviously in mitigation, that is climate change related mitigation, because that landfill site where the waste undergoes anaerobic decomposition produces methane, and methane obviously is a very harmful greenhouse gas. These are the three possible impacts: health, river and climate change mitigation. That is why you need to have waste to energy. I think by now you will be able to write an answer on this. Then comes the next part. The next part of the question is energy efficiency, and energy efficiency clean coal technology I will be discussing together. If you see, energy efficiency has got two dimensions, supply side and demand side. On supply side, obviously I will include power sector, oil and gas sector. But here we will focus only on power. Demand side, obviously you can include domestic. Obviously here you can bring this star labeling of the electrical appliances. You can bring this LED bulb, Ujala scheme. Then you can bring one more, that is green building code. And obviously you can bring a smart grid. You can bring NMEEE, National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. So this is demand side related efficiency improvement, on supply side power sector. And obviously when it comes to power sector, we will be mentioning here a part of this clean coal technology. And clean coal technology, I will be bringing here integrated gasification combined cycle, supercritical temperature and advanced ultra supercritical. When you are writing answer on India's NDCs, take this advanced ultra supercritical over there. Or while writing answer on clean coal technology, bring that NDC over here. That interlinkages you have to do. So let me start with this power, this power side's efficiency improvement. As you know that the global average of the efficiency of thermal power plants is just is around 39%. And obviously in our country, that is India, the efficiency of the older plants is around 29.5%, whereas the new plants is having efficiency of somewhere 36%. The established fact is, if you improve the efficiency of a power plant by 1%, then the emission from that power plant will come down by 2 to 3%. Obviously this is what we call as mitigation, reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. So clean coal technology, obviously one part of clean coal technology is improving efficiency of thermal power plant. And one such technology is integrated gasification combined cycle. Integrated gasification combined cycle, what they do, they take coal, over coal steam is passed to form a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Then through this mixture, oxygen is passed to convert carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide. Hydrogen is still there. Remove the impurities and this mixture is used to rotate the gas turbine. So first turbine you have rotated. Then after the rotation of this gaseous turbine, there is still some leftover heat. There is still some residual heat. That residual heat is then used to convert liquid water into steam to rotate the second turbine. That is why it is known as combined cycle. It is expected that the combined cycle, that is integrated gasification combined cycle, will take the efficiency somewhere 45%. So if you take a conservative estimate 6% improvement, that means obviously 12 to 18% reduction in emission. That is a huge reduction, considering the fact that Kyoto Protocol has mandated 5.2% reduction. So India's first IGCC plant is coming up near Vijayawada, 125 megawatt is the capacity. It is a joint venture of BHEL and obviously Andhra Pradesh Power Generation Corporation. Why it is a part of clean coal technology? You can virtually eliminate the emission of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, particulate matter, efficiency goes up, less consumption of water, and more importantly you will have hydrogen that could be used as a fuel somewhere or to produce electricity. That is in brief IGCC. Second is supercritical temperature. Supercritical, previously we have the thermal power plants known as subcritical. Subcritical, the temperature and pressure are on the lower sides. That means in boiler, steam coexists with liquid water. So obviously this compromises with the overall efficiency. In supercritical, water exists in one homogeneous form known as supercritical fluid. The temperature is around 373 degrees Celsius, pressure is 220 bar, and this homogeneous fluid from top to bottom which exists in the boiler is used for rotating the turbine. In our country, we have ultra mega power plants as per the integrated energy policy adopted by Planning Commission, drafted by Planning Commission in 2006. It is mandatory for UMPPs, that is ultra mega power plants. These are thermal power plants with a capacity of 4000 megawatt or so, to use only supercritical temperature technology. Now today the status is all the thermal power plants, irrespective of the fact if they are coming up, they are being constructed, they have to use supercritical temperature technology. In the 2014 budget, union budget, there was an allocation of rupees 100 crore for the R&D of supercritical temperature technology. Then advanced ultra supercritical, like in our INDC, our means Indian INDC, that is intended nationally determined contribution. One of the provision is that India will collaborate and develop clean energy technology, and that technology will be provided to other countries. Because the developed nation always bring IPR, and invoking the provisions of IPR discourage the transfer of technology. So as you know very well, we are having National Climate Action Plan. Earlier it was having 8 missions. Now it is having more than 8, but one of the latest addition is on advanced ultra supercritical. Advanced ultra supercritical means the temperature will be 710 degrees Celsius and pressure will be 310 bar. Efficiency is expected to touch 60%. So this is obviously, if somebody is somewhere you are being asked what India has done obviously so far to address the problem of climate change, most of us will be stuck with solar power, wind power. I am not saying you should not write that in your answer, you should write that, but please for God's sake include these parts as well in your answer. Because these are obviously clean energy technologies we are in. Clean energy does not mean only necessarily solar. Anything which is having less ecological footprint or lesser carbon footprint will obviously qualify as clean energy technology. The capacity of advanced ultra supercritical will be somewhere 800 megawatt. It is a joint venture of NTPC, BHEL, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research. Fine. The efficiency might touch 60% mark. Obviously it is in the phase of R&D, so it cannot be said with certainty. In supercritical, obviously 55 to 50% you can expect the efficiency improvement. So this is obviously efficiency improvement on supply side. Now come to demand side. Star labeling, LED bulb, Ujala, green building, obviously proper provision for heating, ventilation and air conditioning. I am more interested in smart grid. They might ask an individual question or independent question of smart grid itself. See, smart grid is like it is using a range of technology and solutions in the entire electricity system, that is generation, transmission and distribution. So do not imagine there is only one particular set of technology. There is going to be you can say a broad range of technologies involved in all the 3 segments of our power sector. Like say for example, there is a provision of advanced metering infrastructure. AMI. Advanced metering infrastructure will be like having information technology to enable two-way communication between the consumption point and the dispatch point. What will be the outcome? It will help to introduce differential pricing. Differential pricing means different tariffs for electricity for peak hours and non-peak hours. As the demand for electricity will go up, the tariffs will go up. As the demand for electricity will come down, the tariffs will come down. We do not have differential pricing today. Obviously, what is the benefit of differential pricing? Consumers can directly monitor their consumption, and obviously if they are aware that these are peak hours and the tariffs have reached this particular level, they can reduce their consumption. For government, the benefit is wasteful consumption of electricity will be avoided. Sorry. And when the waste will be avoided, what will happen? The demand and supply gap will reduce. I am not saying it will be eliminated completely, but obviously it will come down. And obviously the brightest point is the carbon footprint of the energy sector will come down, because you don't have to add that much of production capacity, and 56% of electricity comes from coal. So obviously half of that, virtually half, will be coming from coal, and that we do not have to produce. That means we will not be using coal. So indirectly the carbon footprints will come down. There is a provision in future, not now, to use superconducting cables that will help in reducing those technical losses. That is the second benefit. But probably the brightest spot of the smart grid is it will increase the share of renewable energy in the overall energy mix. This point must be there in your answer. What is the meaning share of renewable energy in the overall energy mix? I will give you an example. We had one scheme known as Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. This scheme is for rural electrification. This scheme is emphasizing on microgrid type of a system, like young entrepreneurs are being asked to go to villages, install solar panels, produce electricity, distribute among the villagers. As of now, they are providing electricity for LED bulb and obviously mobile charging. But in future, it is expected that these solar power production microgrid type of an arrangement will produce much more than the requirement of the village. So what will happen to that excess electricity or that extra electricity? Actually, obviously, we are eyeing that extra that should be automatically pumped or fed into power grid. And that is what obviously will happen, that is will not be done manually, it will be automatically. That is a smart grid for you. A smart grid will have one more additional feature, that it will improve the viability of hybrid electric vehicle. Because as a consumer, if I want to charge my electric vehicle, then I should be doing it during non-peak hours. But I should know when the non-peak hours are, and that information will be available on a real-time basis to me. So this is what we call a smart grid. A smart grid has been, the projects have been going on in multiple places like Pondicherry, Haryana, Delhi, and obviously some other places as well. Fine. Then just one more related to efficiency, that is NMEE, National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency, it is about like those big energy guzzlers like your steel plant, aluminium plant, fertilizers, chlor-alkali, these textile plants, so cement. For if these are energy guzzlers, and again link this NMEE with the INDC, that is about emission intensity. NMEE will help us immensely in achieving the goal of reducing emission intensity by 33 to 35%, because that emission intensity reduction will be done obviously at the level of our big industries. So NMEE operates on the principle of perform, achieve and trade, PAT, perform, achieve and trade, like this, like say they are being given energy efficiency targets. 2 aluminium plants are there, A, B. They were, say for example, using 1 megawatt of electricity to produce X kilogram of aluminium. They are being asked now to use 0.9 megawatt of electricity to produce the same X kilogram quantity of aluminium. A ended up producing the same quantity by using 0.85 megawatt. B ended up using 0.95 megawatt, means more than the target, one is less than that. So A should be rewarded and B should be penalized. The reward for A will be energy saving certificates, and that energy saving certificate has to be purchased by B, that is perform, achieve and trade, that is NMEE. So this is obviously efficiency improvement part. Then comes this clean coal technology, also I have discussed with you. Then comes this next one. Next one is this NSG, nuclear supply group. I am like, if I have to like NSG membership issue, like why, like that is obviously is an IR type of a topic, but still what exactly NSG will enable us? NSG, as you know, if a country is looking to have a technology from a member of NSG, then it must fulfill some conditions, like it should sign NPT and it should adopt full scope safeguard. Full scope safeguard means all the nuclear facilities should come under the inspection of IAEA. No marks for guessing, India has not fulfilled any of the two criteria. So actually India NSG things started in 1974. NSG was formed in response to the nuclear test conducted by India. In 2005, when India signed, obviously when not signed, Indo-US nuclear cooperation was announced, that both the countries will cooperate. The one criticism is, how come India can take nuclear technology from US, who is a member of NSG, and obviously we have not signed NPT. But then in 2008, NSG granted India a special clean waiver. September 2008. That means in case of India, the conditions won't apply and India will get the nuclear technology from the member countries. That is obviously a very, very big achievement of Indian diplomacy. If not the biggest, it is one of the biggest. But later on, India started trying for the membership of NSG, because that will enable India to have access to ENR technology. ENR means enrichment and reprocessing technology. Without ENR, the second and the third stage of the nuclear power program will be highly compromised. So must mention in your answer second and third stage of nuclear power program. Second stage is about using plutonium-239 in the fast breeder reactors, and third stage is about using uranium-233 in advanced heavy water reactors. So if we will not have ENR, our program will be confined to first stage that uses only uranium-235. And it's an open fact that we don't have enough, or you can say the required quantity of uranium-235. That means our nuclear power program will never be self-dependent, it will always be dependent on the supply of uranium from other countries. Whereas ENR will enable us to move towards thorium. And thorium, you know, India is having the largest reserves of thorium in the world. So that will make us self-sufficient, self-dependent, and that is what we call as energy independent. I read somewhere, that's what I am quoting, India is having this much of thorium that we can operate 400 reactors for 400 years. That is some quantity. But that hinges on, dependent on ENR technology. One more positive aspect is that if we can get ENR from, because of the membership of NSG, then we can use our own ENR for obviously the strategic or the defense purpose. But the problem is, for that ENR technology to have from the members of NSG, we have to get the membership of NSG, and our condition is that we will not sign NPT. So in June 2016, India really tried its best, whatever it can, to get the membership of NSG, but the problem was that China was having some other plans. China and some other countries vetoed, or they objected against the inclusion of India in NSG without signing NPT. China argued that signing NPT is a mandatory part, whereas India argued along with the US that it's a voluntary part. Then one more point which you should write in your answer if such question comes, that India said although it may not have signed NPT, but it has obliged, or it has always complied with the provisions of NPT. No country has ever accused India of being indulging in nuclear proliferation. In the end, China came with the proposal that it will have a two-step formula for the inclusion of non-NPT members in NSG. Non-NPT, that means includes India, Israel, North Korea as well as Pakistan. What is that two-step formula? Although the details are not out, but some of the hints which we have got, like the first step will be that they will work out general criteria for non-NPT members. Non-NPT means those who have not signed NPT. And second step will be they will apply these criterion to the application submitted by different countries for the inclusion in NSG. So, this is what the status of the NSG membership is, and obviously this is what the impact of an ENR technology because of NSG on the nuclear power program will be. Just one more, that is Indo-Japan nuclear deal. Indo-Japan nuclear deal is again, they might ask what are the irritants in this deal, and Indo-Japan obviously in IR is another very important area, but I am here focusing on the technical part. Indo-Japan deal was signed in November 2016, but recently it has been activated. Obviously, why we need to sign a nuclear deal with Japan? One very simple reason, two reasons I will give you for that. Japan is known for the technology, so we will have access to the probably one of the best technologies. Obviously, that's no country will say no. Another reason is there are three companies from Japan: Mitsubishi, Toshiba, and Hitachi. These countries are controlling Areva, Westinghouse, and General Electric. Areva is a French company, Westinghouse, General Electric are American companies, and these companies from France and US will be supplying reactors as a part of Indo-French and Indo-US nuclear deal. But for that we need to have an agreement with Japan as well. Another reason why we needed to have an agreement with Japan is that Japan, along with China and Russia, controls the supply of the special steel. Without that, the core of the reactor is not possible. So the negotiations started in 2010. But in 2011, Japan had that accident, nuclear accident known as Fukushima. After that, the negotiations were suspended because Japan was looking to phase out nuclear power. But later on, they restarted the nuclear reactors and the negotiations started. Initially, Japan was very reluctant. They were coming up with some very, you can say, impractical proposals, whereas India wanted that this deal should be on the same model as that of Indo-US nuclear deal or 123 agreement. Later on, one important factor which obviously has been very important in getting this deal being signed is that India initially was looking to have only some technology. Later on we said, okay, we will buy complete reactors from you. So then they saw the bigger benefits and they decided to go for the this particular deal with us. Now this deal, obviously the significant part is India is the first non-NPT country with whom, rather I will say India is the only non-NPT country with whom Japan has signed such an agreement. But in this deal actually there is slight you can say the difference in opinion between the two countries, India and Japan. I am saying difference of opinion. Here two documents were signed, one is the nuclear deal, other is notes on views and understanding. Japan is saying both the nuclear deal document and the notes on views and understanding document are legally binding. Whereas India's stand is no, only nuclear deal document is legally binding, notes on views and understanding is not legally binding. Actually in that notes on views and understanding, the commitment made by India on 5th September 2008 in NSG was included. The foreign minister at that time, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, has made two commitments on behalf of the government of India that no first use principle and India will not conduct the test. So that has been included in notes on views and understanding, and Japan is saying that means it is legally binding, that means if you will conduct the test, the deal will be terminated. Whereas India's insistence is no, it should be on the same model as that of Indo-US, where there is no linkage. In case, just write in your answer that in case of Indo-US nuclear deal, there is delinking, D-E-L-I-N-K-I-N-G, delinking of nuclear testing and deal termination. Whereas Japan in that part on notes on views and understanding has linked both parts, but obviously from our point of view that is non-binding. So they can keep on saying whatever they want to. What are the problems which will arise such a linkage? That might be the possible question. It might have two problems for us. If Japan keeps on that linkage between termination and testing, termination of the deal and testing of nuclear weapon. First problem will be, like other countries like US, Australia, Canada, South Korea who have signed nuclear deals with us, where India has been successful in keeping the testing and termination separate, might raise the hand and ask for renegotiation. That will open the Pandora's box. Second possibility is, for the NSG membership, we have always emphasized on predictability in our nuclear cooperation. Means all the nuclear cooperation agreements we have done are on the same model. But here Japanese deal is on a bit of slightly different model because of what the interpretation of Japan is having. Again, I am emphasizing interpretation of Japan. From our side, the perception is that that's same. All the nuclear deals, including Japan, is on the same model. That is our stand, means Government of India's stand. But Japan is having a different take. So that predictability will be gone. Another contentious issue is the suspension of the deal. Japan is saying the deal could be suspended for 3 months, 6 months, and maybe more than that. If the deal is suspended beyond 6 months and if it is having an adverse economic impact on India, then India can claim the compensation. This is what the agreement. This is what the agreement says. Agreement means the nuclear deal. But Japan is saying in notes on views and understanding, there is a clause that Japan has a right to contest that claim. Means they can challenge it somewhere in a court of arbitration or somewhere else, that no, we will not pay you the compensation because of the losses you have suffered because of the suspension of the deal.